Well, our first thought going into tonight, this was our fourth time here in 5 years, and we wanted to play on our toes. And we wanted, right yesterday's meeting, and then before we went out tonight, we said we got to get after them and tell you how little we coaches know and what we think is going to happen. We wanted a shootout, and we made reference to the 8-7 game a few years ago, because we're at our best when we play on our toes, and it ends up being a 17 shots after 2 in a very hard fought defensive game. And we were and that's how the game settled in that way. And I don't know if it was an afternoon game or and then the ice did tilt on us there in the third, and we had a goalie that stood very tall for us. But our team has been very resilient all season long. Our compete level, and even how we had to hang on a bit there in the third period. When Garrett Rowe left, there was more. We had more. Though men had looked like it, maybe how the ice was tilted, but our emotions picked up on the bench, and there was a lot of. They kind of stood up. They were standing up more, and we kept telling everyone to sit down, and we kind of had some emotion, and we had a good feel about us. And then, as we all as coaches know, when you have a goaltender that puts in a performance like that, it's pretty easy. So it's a great performance by Mike Lee tonight.
What was the difference between Mike from a couple of weeks we saw a couple of weeks ago and today?
Well, you know what, we saw that with him early in the year in the 4-1 win. One thing with Mike, he has shown this before throughout the season, but he's also shown some moments of a freshman. And the one thing with Mike is when Mike can have a good first period and stand tall, and the team get out in front of him, and we built him a lead, and even a 1-goal lead late, he gets stronger as the game goes. And so that we've seen this out of him, and I anticipate in the future we're going to see a lot more of it out of him. But he's had some. This is a tough league, and there's some moments that you have to learn through. Like I felt in the third period, they had about 5 chances on our power play, and then we had a couple of freshmen just make some terrible turnovers that all led to shots on goal, and that was nerves and. Because we do play a handful of freshmen and sophomores that have never been here, and they were rattled a bit at making plays because of the pressure Wisconsin puts on you. You know, no space, very physical, and we had to persevere and battle through that. And I felt that happened, and I know we got a little winded there on a Mike Lee question.
Question over here.
Just if you could update us on Garrett's condition, status. What have you heard?
The only thing we heard was he was in pain, and they brought the stretcher out, and he goes, I don't want the stretcher, and then they said it's too late, that the medical people take over. So he was asking not to be carted off, but precaution's always going to take over on a neck injury, and we have no report yet.
Bob, Mike Eads even kind of commented that may have changed the chemistry, and I know that was a question of the players, but in your mind, how did that impact the game after he left?
Like I said, our bench stood up, and there was chatter going on, and we hadn't seen that. We were a little tired at points of the second period, and there was a little bit of a rallying call. Maybe I'm even underestimating a little bit. There might have been a big part of it, and where the reverse you've seen sometimes when a player goes down, your team can get quiet, and that didn't happen with us. I felt that there was a charge. There was a charge, and Nick Oslin, we filled him in at that center spot. We cut down to 3 lines, and though the ice was tilted at times, I think our defensive core, I thought, battled through, and took away a lot of second shots and blocked some shots. Good, he had a big time block there at the end of the game where he stuck his neck out there, and I think he caught it right in his sternum area. So,
Bob, the hit on Oslin by Golduff looked strangely familiar. Would you expect some type of penalty for that beyond the game?
No, I don't think there should be any more. But that's just my opinion. What's going to happen now is there's just been so much attention on you know, from the NHL down. I mean, it's all of us that are on that, and we coaches can't. And we don't want anybody hurt. We didn't want Jeffrey on hurt, and no one wants to get hurt. Our league has way too much respect for the other members for that to happen. I do believe we have to take it out of the game, you know, and we saw his hands and elbows and kind of come high. I think a 5-minute penalty was appropriate there. That's my opinion. And it's a tough place we're in right now for players, for referees, and administrators. Right now, it's difficult for all of us right now. But we will figure it out, and we'll get a lot of direction, and we'll get a lot of help to fight through this right now to make what's right for the game.
Any other questions?
What did you think of the PK tonight? I mean, you guys get Marvin and Christian back in the last few games here. What's going on?
I thought, well, that was the question before the game. We'd given up a goal on the penalty kill, I think, the last 8 games straight. But we really felt we made a couple changes 2 weeks ago, and it was the key to our night tonight was killing penalties. We had to kill 3 in the first period. And our penalty kill, I think it helped us being on the smaller ice sheet because we got a little bit more aggressive over on the sides. Mike had to make the big save, obviously, on Davies in the first period because that was going in. But penalty kill, sometimes that's what it is. But we're real happy with our penalty kill for 2 weeks in a row now. That our guys are responding.
You're going to be playing against Denver or North Dakota tomorrow. What sort of matchup do you expect, and which team would you rather play?
Well, you know that we won't answer that, and there really isn't an answer to it. You know, we've seen everything in this tournament. And, you know, I had one of the best leaders right back there when I worked for Don, and this tournament is going to throw everything at you. It mimics even better than some NCAA play. Tonight was a hard-fought game. And our programs in our league take this tournament very seriously. So it is going to be a battle. The good thing, for us, we played the afternoon game and we get a little rest right now because we had to play 3 games last week. And it's about having your energy and get back on your toes and get ready to go. And both these teams that are playing tonight are outstanding teams and both great defensively, and they both have very similar challenges. So.